welcome to the GenNext Community Talk Series. This week we have Red Deer Central Alberta Community Leader Ron Sauve, the Regional Vice President of RBC, and he is going to be having a conversation with the United Way Central Alberta CEO, Brett State, about what has been happening in the community during this pandemic and what the future looks like for us. So Brett, I'll pass it on to you.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Farron. Really happy to have a chance. Ron and I talk frequently. Ron's a longtime United Way supporter, well before my time. Sat on campaign cabinet for a number of years with us and then moved into campaign co-chair. And when that time was done, we just couldn't let him go. So we convinced him he needed to join our board of directors where he currently is. So Ron's a longtime supporter. I always enjoy chatting with Ron over coffee or about more serious topics. And learning the perspective from supporters, both volunteer like Ron and corporate supporters like RBC. So Ron, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, Farron and Brett, thank you for the opportunity. I always love to share some insights in regards to the community work with United Way. You know, the United Way is in our communities. As you mentioned, I've actually been involved with United Way for the last 25 years. You know, on a variety of capacities across all over Canada, and really enjoy the working with United Way, doing so much for member agencies in our community. There's so many great community networks to support out there, and even more prevalent right now the last few months as we go through the global health pandemic. So a bit about myself, yeah, long-term RBCer, as we talked about. Been here in Central Alberta Marketplace the last 8 years, here in the Alberta Central Marketplace. Proud to work with such an amazing team of colleagues within the RBC team here. And of course, our community partners such as yourself and others in the community here as well.
Wonderful, thanks Ron. So let's dive into the questions. We won't hit you too hard with the questions, but as we've been doing these GenNext talks series with different agencies and community leaders throughout the community, we've really been focusing on COVID-19 and the impact that that's had on the businesses and the agencies. So, we'll ask similar questions to you. What type of challenges are you yourself in your role and RBC seeing as a result of the reopening stages of COVID-19?
Well, great question, Brett. I think, the challenge, of course, we're all faced with is just to keep everyone healthy. Just to focus on the health and well-being of our team members, our families, our clients. Just really try to focus on that as we try to get beyond the COVID-19. So, I think the last few months, our industry, such as many industries, yourself, it's just been being agile and quickly changing, adapting to the ever-changing day-to-day kind of changes and pivoting to make those changes for our staff and our customers actually as well. As we, living and working here in Alberta, it's great working with the provincial government with, as they're safeguarding us as well each and every day with the, the information that we're receiving. And great to work for a corporation such as RBC that right in the early days, back March 16th, really preparing for what was required for the transformation of our branch network to ensure the safety of our clients and safety of our team members as well. But, it's been, as we all see, it's been a time like never before. I mean, you look at the last 6 or 8 months for all industries and, all industries have quickly pivoted like never before, just to kind of be there, for our clients and focus on the needs of our clients as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been that's funny, the March 16th date, that's when we closed our office and everybody went working from home. It's kind of a date that comes up a lot. And so it's funny you mentioned that. That's one that sticks in my mind as well through COVID over the last 8 months. That March 16th date really just sticks with me. So, and it's great to hear. And you're right. A lot of businesses have had to become agile, and we're seeing some innovation come out of that, which is exciting.
Well, and I said, sorry, I was going to. It's created a lot more community needs as well. As we know directly with the great work of United Way and all the other not-for-profit, across Central Alberta, across Canada. There's so many different needs right now as well in regards to individuals' personal health challenges right now, around mental health and different things as well. It's just, it's really created the additional needs and resources as well. And United Way has been very active in, identifying and trying to find resources out there as well and work with government. But again, it's great to partner and, with an organization such as yourselves that's really focused on the well-being of Central Albertans.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. We appreciate it, and we do appreciate all the support RBC and yourself provide to us. And I apologize, my dogs have like this sensor when I work from home. If I'm on a video call, it's time to bark. So apologize for that.
No worries.
Hopefully they're done now. So obviously employment is a big issue that will be coming out of COVID-19. We're seeing some economic impact. Our economy's been down before COVID-19, and the COVID-19 pandemic didn't help. What kind of advice, you've had a long career with RBC and you've been in leadership for a long time, so you have lots of experience in hiring and interviewing. So what type of career advice would you offer to somebody who's seeking new employment during COVID-19 or during this time?
That's a great question when you position it that way, Brent. And we think of the folks right now, in post-secondary school, or thinking of a career, and even pre-COVID, I'd be out speaking to a lot of youth groups and different community members, and the stat that kind of still resonates with me pre-COVID is the average person right now in kindergarten will never need a driver's license. Because by the point they get to the age when you and I were 16, that's the first thing you wanted was your license and the vehicle. But technology was changing even pre-COVID. And then, of course, with the health situation we actually have right now, it's even escalated actually even more. But when I think of, the needs in regards to the options available for folks focus on a career down the road, I think really the message hasn't changed even within their own career ideas. They need to be agile. They need to actually be open to change. I mean, the job title they desire, they look at right now may not be there 5 or 10 years from now. But, I always focus on individuals and the fact that be open, adopt, always be customer focused, always be curious, ask those questions, and just be open to the adaptability of actually changing. And because there's some certain skill sets such as those that will always be there, will always be a need. And then the other thing, because I do a lot of recruitment, as you know, and what really impresses me when I talk to the younger folks these days who are looking for a career in the future is and it's amazing these days in regards to the amount of volunteer hours the youth give consistently. And what really impresses me when I look at resumes for future careers with RBC is the getting to know the individual beyond the education is key. Some work experience is definitely helpful as well, but also that where have you volunteered and what's your passion, and what really drives you, what really motivates you in regards to what do you do and kind of outside those walls within your community, support your community actually as well. So I think be curious, be open, be agile, because there's those are the similar key skill sets that will always be out there as well, required, and be positive. I mean, it's we're kind of in this together right now. The good thing about Albertans, we're very resilient, and we've had some difficulties actually in the past. And it's and we've gotten through things, and we kind of figured out, we work together, we support each other, and we'll get to the other side of it at some point actually as well. But I think it's just working together as a team, openness, and I think sharing those personal stories actually as well.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, some wonderful points. That curiosity, right? You learn so much from just being constantly curious and asking questions and learning, in the roles I've been in. And I always make jokes that, I learned everything I know by failing a lot, right? And making those mistakes, because man, you sure remember not to do that again once you've done it. So some great advice. And again, wholeheartedly agree that seeing what people are passionate about is always, and showing that passion through volunteering or or, you know, showing some of that personality on your resume or your CV is it's the sight that you don't get from, you know, just educational and work history background that tells you a little bit more, which is always interesting. So some great advice, and which I figure you'd have as experienced as you are, for sure.
Well, just to add to that too, you know, in regards to, you know, it's a, you know, proud, you know, working with RBC is we've made a $500 million commitment to a program called Future Launch, which we launched roughly 3 years ago, which is just really focused on youth, you know, ensuring that the youth have the skill set for the future world, the future requirements of the roles. So it's a commitment we've actually made that we're actually assisting youth to prepare them for the future. You know, mentorship is huge. Another opportunity through, you know, working with youth is just a mentorship piece actually as well. I know even your own accord, you're continually mentoring people in the community here as well. I mean, the mentorship goes a long way as well, just to align individuals with business leaders to ensure they actually have someone in their corner actually as well. And you know, I think throughout all of our careers, we've all had mentors. You know, we consistently have different mentors for different things, and that's kind of where you learn, you know, a lot of the good things we need for down the road actually as well. So, yeah, our Future Launch has been an amazing program for us to really set up the youth for the future.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I've seen a lot of communications, obviously, around Future Launch, and it's a wonderful initiative. So congratulations to RBC. It's an important step, and it's always great to see those types of initiatives from, you know, from the corporate world and institutions. So great stuff. So my last question, unless you know, you spawn a spin-off question, but it looks like you're in the office right now, but I know folks are or were working from home and likely are still working from home in some instances. So any advice to those that are maybe transitioning from strictly working in an office to either working from home or working part from home? Any advice from yourself?
Yeah, probably lots of advice actually in those points, you know, with, you know, we're a large organization. I mean, we've actually had to pivot. We're also essential services, you know, within our branch networks. You know, we need our team members in our branch networks, but we would still have some team members within branches that are maybe working from home right now as well, and on a home office right now as well. But primarily, you know, I work on a commercial floor here. There's typically usually 20 of us on this floor, downtown Red Deer. Any given day, there's 4 of us right now. So the bulk of the team members on the commercial floor are working from home. I mean, the advice I'd actually give for that is it's a bit of a challenge actually too. And the advice I'd actually give for the folks working from home is just make sure you have work-life balance. You know, sometimes you know, since you actually have your setup actually at home, like your prime example, like you need to step away at times. It's like, hey, like if you'd have been in the office that day, you probably would have left at 5 o'clock. So you need to kind of step away from it. You need a separate area at home. Like your home office can't be your living room, because then, you know, that's kind of your domain to go and just enjoy time with family. So I say the balance piece, and make sure you actually have a separate kind of area as well, just to distinguish between kind of work and family life balance. And thirdly, I think, you know, the social interactions. I mean, you know, there are a lot of folks that are enjoying, you know, working from home for a variety of reasons. And there are a lot of folks that want to be back in the social setting actually of an office, you know. So my constant, I guess, when I talk to folks that are either way in that side, you know, it's you can still have social interactions. You know, we think Zoom, we think WebEx. There's so many different ways for social interactions, and keeping everyone healthy and safe without being in office and going for coffee kind of thing actually as well. So I think it's balancing. It's still keeping connected to, you know, to your work colleagues. You know, we still have telephones, we have video cameras, and we still keep connected to your teammates. And I think, because I think for a lot of folks, it's that enjoyment of also, you know, going to an office, having coffee with some colleagues, talking about the weekend. So, you know, I still encourage that same thing happening, but it's a different mode of communication right now actually as well. But and I think it's just, yeah, really doing that work-life balance. It's the you know, it's yeah, you can maybe do a few more emails, or you can watch your favorite program on a Monday night at 8 o'clock. So make sure you get that work-life balance, because if you don't actually have that balance, then your home feels too much like your work. And it's, yeah, so I think the balance is key. And exercise is always key. So, take a break, take your dogs for a walk, different things. I mean, because that's the other, opportunity, but challenges. All of a sudden, your dogs have you home every day, and they love having Brett home. Then at some point when things more normalize, there'll be some anxiety, because I'm also like, where did Brett go? Because Brett's been with me for the last 6 months, right? So I think we got to think of the bigger picture in regards to the work-home life balance. But I think no different than you're actually in the office every day. You still need a balance. Go for a walk, your lunch hour, just get away, just ensure you actually have that balance. Probably more than ever, because of the unfortunately, more news lately is negative news. So sometimes I just, so if you're working from home, don't watch CNN all day, or don't watch anything, because that probably just frustrates people more, kind of thing, right? So, but I think it's just, you get some balance, from home, and a separate private area, or for confidentiality also as well, is one of the keys in regards to private area. But just, that's your work area, where this is your pleasure area at home actually as well.
Yeah, great advice, Ron. And I know, we're on a rotating, so week in, week out of the office right now, but, and I've worked from home in previous roles, and I know anytime I would try to set up in like a common area, like, the living room or something, you were working all the time, because it's there, it's visible, right? So that separation of, giving yourself your own work area, your own office or whatever, that's separate. I know for me, if I don't do that, then I'm working all the time. And even, doing that time check of like, how long have I been here? Because I logged in an hour earlier than I normally would, and holy smokes, it's 3 o'clock already. So I've been, going nonstop. So some great advice, just, to make sure you're maintaining that balance. So great advice. That's all the questions I have for you, Ron. I don't know if you have anything you want to say in closing.
Well, I just, I can't believe like 30 minutes goes by very quickly. It's like the time frame here. No, I think I just want to thank, United Way, in regards to what you're doing in the community, really supporting the most vulnerable folks right now as well. And it's it's just, there's just a lot of challenges out there, a lot of health challenges, and it's just, different routines for people. And it's, more than ever, it's folks need more and more support on that. And it's, so just want to thank, the work that you're doing with United Way, Brett, and the entire United Way team, really making a difference, in the lives of our Central Albertans, and really making a positive impact on the community, and really focus on the well-being of everyone that matters each and every day. So.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. And yeah, our theme this year is our community can't recover without you. And I know we say every year that the need is great, and it is great every year, but it's truly as big as it's ever been. The need is greater than it's ever been, and so when we're telling people that our community can't recover without them, we absolutely mean it. This year, it's extremely important. So, and you just highlighted that, and I want to thank you for taking the time to let us ask you some questions and keep you busy. We always like to keep you nice and busy, and the support you and yourself and RBC provide to us to allow us to do that work and support those vulnerable populations. So thank you again for taking the time, Ron, really appreciate it. And we'll let you get back to what I'm assuming is a very busy day. I know I get very early morning and late evening emails from you periodically, so I know you're a hard worker, so we can let you get back at it.
Super, thank you, Brett, for the opportunity. Thank you.